Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. You are seated at a grand banquet, the torchlight dancing across the goblets, shadows playing upon the throne. You raise a chalice, savoring its cool promise, but that wine is poison, not just one drop, but a slow, silent tide. In the same way, toxic people in your life aren't assassins with daggers. They are courtiers who drip poison. Every smile, every polite excuse, every half-remembered favor is a strand of corrosion. If left unchecked, your strongest defenses, your focus, your peace, your clarity will erode. You sip that cup thinking it brings comfort, but it is chaos dressed as kin, corruption disguised as counsel, betrayal cloaked in familiarity. History whispers this truth in the hush of fallen empires. Rome did not crumble under the force of distant barbarians. It fell because the rot began within, among the senators, the advisors, the men trusted to fortify the gates. Emperors fled, not from swords, but from the whispered conspiracies at midday feasts. The walls fell because the council inside was compromised, the throne weakened by those sworn to support it. You are no different. If you allow toxic voices in your court, your mind will fall not under siege, but under seduction. And your mind is the throne. It is where strategy is conceived, where discipline is forged, where sovereignty begins. Let one traitor, jealousy, entitlement, manipulation sit among your counselors, and they will whisper dissonance at dawn, urging you to doubt your worth, paralyze your resolve. One morning of compromised energy, one conversation that shifts your battlefield before battle even begins. Every toxic presence is a coup attempt in slow motion. You must defend that throne with vigilance, not with guilt. You will feel the cost if you do not act. The empire of your ambition will shrink. The clarity of your purpose will be dull. The spoils of your conquest will turn to ash. But if you choose to cut the chalice from your lips, if you sever the conduit of the slow poison, you will reclaim the kingdom of your mind. Every sunrise will dawn with sharpened focus. Every silent moment will become a stillness of power. The reward, sovereignty, mastery, invincibility awaits. Raise your own banner. Cut the chalice. Reclaim your throne. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. You sit upon the throne of your own mind, crowned not by birth, but by every thought you allow to reign. This is your court, the inner chamber where decisions are forged, wars waged, and destiny is shaped. You are king here, and every advisor you admit, every thought, every voice, every influence is either a guardian of your realm or a saboteur in disguise. Friends, colleagues, partners, they come seeking counsel, allegiance, or comfort. Yet some are wolves, masquerading as lambs. They drip poison into your court with subtle whispers, stolen attention, envy cloaked as concern. In the boardroom, a co-worker smiles while stirring doubt in your vision. On your phone, a friend messages you just late enough to fracture your morning focus. Each intrusion is a stain upon the marble of your sovereignty. You must demand loyalty, not empty proximity. Every voice you allow near your crown must serve your reign, not erode it. Machiavelli warned, the prince must ruthlessly choose his allies. One corrupt voice in the council can sink an empire. You recall his counsel, better to be feared than loved. Because love can be broken at the stroke of opportunity, but fear preserves authority. In your life, that means allowing only voices that elevate your purpose, that sharpen your resolve, cut the parasites that promise comfort today but crater your potential tomorrow. Imagine a throne room infiltrated by traitors. They feed on your energy while masquerading as courtiers. The crown sits on your head, But you are no ruler. You are a puppet, your strings tugged by guilt, distraction, manipulation. The crown slides forward, you lose posture, vision, command. Your mind fractures. This is the influence of voices that sought not the kingdom's welfare, but your collapse. You must defend your crown. Do not plead for loyalty. Command it. Silence the whisperers. Remove the voices that sour your court with hidden malice. Declare, I will not be undermined by familiar faces. As chess masters sacrifice a pawn to protect the king, you must sacrifice toxic ties to preserve your throne. Do not fear cutting ties. Fear remains chained by them. Let the silence that follows be the sound of sovereignty restored. Let your court be refined. Truth, discipline, strategy, these are your advisors. When the enemy strikes at dawn through distraction or covert doubt, your throne stands unshaken. You rise, sharper. You rule, undistracted. This is your command. Audit your court. Identify the saboteurs, masquerading as allies. Execute the cut. Guard your crown with the force of a king and the precision of a strategist. Failure to act invites collapse. Act and you ascend unchallenged. Command your court. Defend your throne. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. You wake before dawn. The first light is a silent drumbeat preparing the battlefield of your day. This moment is not peaceful. It is war. If the wrong messenger strikes first, a call, a message, a toxic conversation, it's like an arrow lodged in your armor before the battle even begins. You feel the sting, a fractured focus, a distracted mind. You are already compromised. Spartans knew this instinctively. As the sun rose over the Euphrates Valley, their warriors were already standing, trained to endure hunger, cold, pain before the world even stirred. Their entire society revolved around this ritual. A regime called the agogay forced boys as young as 7 to live under relentless discipline, barefoot, underfed, forging toughness until weakness became unthinkable. They learned that dawn is sacred, that who or what touches you in that hour determines whether you will stand or fall. Not a single moment of your day can be ceded to weakness. Imagine the battlefield of your morning. Your mind is a command center. The enemies, the toxic voices creeping into your focus at first light, they spread faster than wildfire. Negativity, self-doubt, obligation, they seize the high ground and soon your momentum is gone. But now picture stillness, the calm you build before the world storms in. This is your fortress. The earlier you seal your gates, the stronger your hold. Command yourself. Rise before the messengers of chaos. Let your first thoughts be sharpened by purpose, not dulled by distraction. Train your dawn like a Spartan trains his flesh. Focus on the task. Reject the intrusion. Build mental endurance. Every sunrise is a chance to reclaim territory from the internal enemy. Don't allow guilt, obligation, or manipulation to gain ground. The stakes are high. One compromised morning is a foothold for chaos, and the siege begins. But if you enforce discipline at dawn, if your mind is battle-ready when the day arrives, you carry the advantage. You are alert. You are sovereign. Your armor remains unpierced. Take your dawn, win your day. Machiavelli wrote, there are 2 ways of contending, one in accordance with the laws, the other by force. The first is proper to men, the second to beasts. You hold your breath. You do not speak. The predator waits. In silence lies power. A wolf does not howl before it strikes. I study. It watches. It waits. Its quiet form sharper than any blade. In that stillness, you see allegiance in your court. You see who leans in and who retreats. Silence reveals loyalty. It unmasks the saboteurs. It reveals who respects your throne. You do not move. You don't need to. Because speech, your reaction, is a weapon you control. You let words hang in the air. Watch their weight. See who recoils and who leans uncertainly into the void. Detachment is not retreat. It is a strategy. Modern psychology confirms that stepping back, distancing your mind from emotional entanglements, reveals manipulation hidden in plain sight. When you stop reacting, you see the patterns, the guilt-laden demands, the sudden apologies, the gaslit doubt. You recover your mind's clarity. You reclaim your strength. Imagine treating your life like a chessboard. Any urgent text, any guilt-laced memory, any voice claiming intimacy, they are pieces. Treat them as threats. Do not let them move you. Let silence become your strategy, not your weakness. One morning, you did not respond immediately. You let the message wait. In the delay, you recognize the pattern: triangulation, emotional baiting, manipulation, dressed as concern. You saw how the thread of guilt wound through the words. You withheld your reaction. You didn't break, you gained clarity. The serpent revealed itself. You cut clean. You are not a pond in which chaos ripples at first touch. You are a fortress of calm. You are the predator mastering the quiet. When voices clamoring for attention crash against your walls, their echoes fade. Only the truth remains. Command your stillness. Use silence. Sit and watch. Allow the courtier voices to show their true colors. Let your lack of reaction be the forge where clarity is tempered. Do not speak. Do not flinch. Let the weak wilt beneath your still throne. The cost of failure is collapse from within, your throne usurped by whispers. The reward of discipline is invulnerability, silence as anointed armor, focus so sharp it cuts through intrusion. Silence reveals rule through stillness. Princes and governments are far more dangerous than other elements within society. You stand in the silent court of your mind, sword drawn, not to take pleasure in bloodshed, but to ensure survival. Cutting someone out of your life is not cruelty, it is strategy. Rome did not preserve its power by tolerating internal threats. Emperors like Caracalla had his brother Geta assassinated, then erased from memory entirely, removing anyone tied to sedition or weakness to protect his reign. That was decisive removal, not indulgent mercy. The empire steadied its course with a blade, not a plea. Your life is no exception. Toxic people drain you with disguised allegiance, seductive drama, entitlement dressed as intimacy. Every moment spent defending them is a surrendered advantage. You're not dishonoring humanity, you are honoring yourself. Letting poison fester in your life is treason against your empire. Think of the countless energy spent fielding guilt, drama, manipulation, energy you could have devoted to forging strength, clarity, progress. Hesitation is the worm that deepens the infection. A kingdom does not fall from one betrayal, it collapses from complacency. Imagine a festering wound unchecked. It spreads silently, rots the flesh, poisons the system. The longer you delay the cut, the deeper the rot. You become complicit, you choose decay. But if you act swiftly, the infection doesn't spread. You preserve the throne, you preserve yourself. Commandment: do not debate loyalty. Execute the removal with precision. Do not allow loyalty to mercy deceive you. You are not a caretaker of broken ambitions, you are the defender of your sovereignty. Every toxic voice must be cut. Every corrosive influence must end. Do not permit second chances where betrayal resides. Once you sever the cord, stand firm. Let your calm echo where confusion reigned. The world will test your silence. Let them feel the absence, the void. That void is your message. I will not negotiate my peace. Your throne remains intact because your judgment is unyielding. You are not cruel. You are decisive. Mistake mercy for weakness, and you yield the throne to decay. Show disciplined resolve, and your dominion expands. You stabilize, you reclaim your mind, you ascend beyond distraction, beyond sabotage, beyond collapse. Cut the rot, protect the throne. Machiavelli wrote, "Princes and governments are far more dangerous than other elements within society. You wear strength like a mask. You do not reveal the tremor behind the crown." In war, Winston Churchill never allowed the public to glimpse his doubt. His resolve became the rallying cry, and morale outlasted despair. He delivered harsh truths, yes, but with a face of unwavering authority that held a nation's will together when the walls were closing in. In your life after the cut, you must wear that same mask. You must not crumble where weakness is most contagious. You project control. A lion never announces its hunt. Its gaze alone demands submission. You stand tall, silent, unwavering, and that presence speaks louder than words. In your court, no one dares to test you. No one extends venom under the shield of friendship, because your posture alone communicates the distance between ruler and subject. Your throne remains unassailable. Behind closed gates, the threat lingers. When you eliminate toxic ties, you may feel the battle inside: self-doubt, guilt, regret. Yet the world must not see your fracture. You cloak your wounds with purpose. When colleagues ask what changed, you offer calm confidence, not confession. When social media floods with snide commentary, you remain composed. Your court sees only the executioner's resolve, not the blade's tremor. You command the field through stillness. Let every move seem effortless, every decision deliberate. Mask your internal storms with the steady poise of a chess master who conceals his sacrifice until the final turn. Win by presence, by the discipline of concealment. Command your image. Refuse to expose the fracture lines. Let your mask be your strongest weapon. If you waver, you invite attack. If you remain steel-faced, you enforce respect. Mask your power, rule unbroken. Princes and governments are far more dangerous than other elements within society. You summon your inner assassin. This is not the bloodlust of cruelty. It is the precision of survival. Like a samurai following the code of Bushido, you must strike without hesitation when the time demands. The samurai lived by the principle of rectitude, acting without second thought when duty called. They believed in living and dying according to their code. When it was time to act, hesitation meant death. You must adopt the same discipline. Allow no softness to taint your blade. In modern life, detachment is not cruelty, it is precision. When a relationship, a habit, or a voice drains your strength, you do not react emotionally. You do not justify or explain. You execute the cut, clean, swift, final, like a surgeon exercising rote. Your inner assassin sees the threat and severs it without remorse. This is not betrayal, it is salvation. Imagine each toxic person in your life as a parasite burrowing into your flesh, draining life from your ambition, your clarity, your calm. You are the predator. The parasite does not negotiate, it claws and consumes. So you act with the cold efficiency of a predator, ending suffering. You remove the parasite. You do not ease it out. You end it before you bleed. Do not delay. Hesitation allows infection to spread. A wound untreated festers. A court circling around your throne becomes toxic if you let it grow. You must act now. You must become your own executioner. This is not malice. This is strategy. It's the difference between an empire that thrives and one that crumbles from rot at its core. You will not yield your throne to parasitic voices. You will uphold your sovereignty with the assassin inside you. Silent, lethal, unwavering. Be your own executioner. Claim your survival. Machiavelli wrote, "The more sand has escaped from the hourglass of our life, the clearer we should see through it." You have drawn the sword and severed the ties that drained your strength. Now the battlefield lies abandoned, and that void is not emptiness. It is hunger. You must feed that hunger. In a Cherokee parable, an elder explains that inside each person reside two wolves. One embodies despair, envy, regret. The other, peace, hope, strength. When asked which wolf wins, the answer is simple: the one you feed. Feed your ambition. Feed your growth. Starve the rest. Your energy, once siphoned by toxic connections, is now fuel. You reclaim it. You direct it like a warlord refocusing troops to the front lines. The same mind that fought distraction now sharpens vision. The energy that molded guilt into chains now hones strategy into blades. You do not squander this reclaimed force. You deploy it. You build new rituals. You write with purpose. You train your mind, body, and clarity into weapons. Every task becomes a campaign. Every sunrise, a marching call. Picture the predator in the clearing after dusk. The weakened deer is still alive, but the predator doesn't look at the empty stand. It sees the next meal, the sharper prey. That is you. With every poisonous tie snipped, your inner wolf grows sharper, hungrier, instincts heighten, focus becomes preternatural. You don't chase distractions, you track opportunity, you hunt for results. Your presence alone begins to command respect. Your silence speaks of power waiting to strike. Others feel it, they step aside. Let no doubt creep in. Reclaimed energy is not to be squandered on trivialities. Do not let distraction cradle your mind. Do not let sympathy chain your resolve. Feed the wolf that builds, who calculates, who elevates. Feed the wolf that reads history for lessons, studies strategy to sharpen, experiments to grow. Every book, every moment of solitude, every resolve to rise is a feasting of power. Do not let the wolf starve again. You risk collapse if that power is misdirected. If you let aimless habits consume you, you crumble. But if you channel it, you become a sovereign predator whose strength is quiet but undeniable. Each day remind yourself, you feed purpose, you fuel victory, you sharpen the wolf within. Feed the wolf. Become unstoppable. Since love and fear can hardly exist together, if we must choose between them, it is far safer to be feared than loved. You stand before the endless expanse of your life, the chessboard laid bare. Every connection, every voice, every relationship is a piece in play. You are neither pawn nor spectator. You are the Grand Master. Those who serve your vision remain on the board. Those who threaten your reign sacrifice, reposition, or remove. Not every pawn is meant to protect the king forever. History shows that empires rose on the backs of sacrifices. Ministers, generals, even loved ones surrendered when context demanded their removal. They were stepping stones, not enemies. Understand this: some people cross your path to push you forward, not to stay forever. Honor their role, then let them go once their purpose is fulfilled. Do not cling to comfort at the cost of your strategy. Beware the hidden queen. Toxic people masquerade as allies. They promise power, community, and intimacy, but beneath that guise, they maneuver for their own game. They shift positions, conceal motives, manipulate moves. They lurk in friendly alliances until they reveal their ambition. Do not be fooled by charm born of convenience. Expose the gambit before it becomes a trap. You must think 10 moves ahead. Plot, not only for today, but for years. Who will betray you when the board turns? Who will fight beside you when the storm arrives? Anticipate the betrayal before it happens. Fortify your allies. Sacrifice what must fall. Your mind is the board. Your strategy, the weapon. Foresee outmaneuver. Dominate. Do not fear sacrifice. Every cut, every re-evaluation, every repositioning is a declaration of your sovereignty. Let the board show your strength, not your sentimentality. Stand poised, calculating, untouchable. Let each move echo with clarity and purpose. Master your board, claim your reign. Machiavelli wrote, "There is nothing more difficult to take in hand, more perilous to conduct, or more uncertain in its success than to take the lead in the introduction of a new order of things." You stand in the censer smoke of reinvention. Betrayal still echoes in your bones. To complete your ascendancy, you must enact rituals of steel habits, so forged and relentless they render your sovereignty unassailable. In ancient Rome, after the court was stained by betrayal or scandal, lustration rituals followed. A procession, a sacrificial offering, purification of the tainted space. This was not penance, it was restoration. The emperor, by ritual, reclaimed the authority the betrayal had tried to strip away. You too must cleanse your realm with purpose, not with regret. Let the severance be followed by a ritual that recalibrates your focus and reasserts your throne. In the modern arena, the ritual is digital but no less powerful. You delete their contact, you block their access, you purge their presence. In one sharp motion, you swing your sword and end their influence. That digital cut is your declaration. You do not plead. You do not explain. You simply enact the boundary. Each deletion is a spark forging the edge of your iron will. Now imagine creating daily rituals to reinforce that sovereignty, rising before dawn, executing your plan, reaffirming your isolation from toxicity. Recite your intentions. Train your focus. Build the habit until hesitation becomes impossible. This is your steel habit: morning solitude, intentional reading, disciplined planning, or silence before response. Their force is not in glory. They are small, consistent, nuclear pulses that harden your mind like tempered steel. If you falter, the poison seeps back in. Distractions creep askance. Guilt re-enters through cracks in routine. But if you remain steadfast, you become the fortress no voice can breach. You become the ruler who does not flinch when the cut echoes in the court. You become unbreakable. Command the ritual. Enact the purification. Temper your will until the blade of your focus strikes without hesitation. Execute your ritual. Harden your will. Don't be swayed by slander, and don't be shaken by criticism. You rise above the fray. You exist in a realm where betrayal cannot wound you. You have become untouchable, a sovereign above the storms of emotion and the chaos of betrayal. Consider Marcus Aurelius, emperor and Stoic philosopher. He trained himself to remain unshaken by slander and unruffled by criticism. His meditations remind himself, if an action is right for you, what others say cannot alter its virtue. He learned to value truth above reputation and to remain immovable amid accusation. That is Stoic immunity, steel forged by self-mastery and inner clarity. Imagine yourself as the apex predator soaring high, an eagle untroubled by the serpents slithering below. They hiss and coil in the shadows, but you are beyond reach. Their resentment cannot clip your wings. Their envy cannot cloud your vision. You hover where the air is thin and the vision is clear. Their attempts to undermine you evaporate on the currents beneath you. Build yourself a social fortress, boundaries so strong and invisible that no parasite ever infiltrates again. The modern ruler erects these walls, not with aggression, but with conviction. You delete toxic messages. You block manipulative voices. You purge hate masquerading as help. You armor your court with routine, clarity, and unwavering focus. You remain silent while intrusion breaks against your ramparts and shatters. The stakes are vast. Betrayal's blade may slip through the cracks of a fractured mind. Doubt seeps in. Momentum stalls. But the untouchable sovereign stands apart, immune, unassailable, serene. Command your elevation. Embrace Stoic immunity. Come the eagle. Construct your fortress in silence and discipline. Let betrayal pass beneath you. Let your sovereignty remain untouched. Rise untouchable, rule in silence. Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are. You have sharpened the blade of your mind. Now you stand at the apex, the final purge. Every metaphor you've wielded, throne, assassin, predator, chessboard, merges into one sovereign ideal. This is not fantasy, it is transformation. Your throne of the mind stands unassailable. Inside you, the assassin moves with silent precision. Your wolf, fed and fierce, prowls with hunger for purpose. The chessboard of life lies conquered under your gaze. Every piece in place, you are sovereign, not by birth or fortune, but by relentless discipline. History offers its witness. Julius Caesar eliminated enemies within his circle, with decisions as sharp as the Ides of March strike. Alexander the Great cast aside generals who stalled his conquest, leaving betrayal to extend only so far. Winston Churchill disregarded political comfort to lead resolutely through Britain's darkest hours. They didn't allow weak links or soft compromises. They cut decisively and rose untouchable. You stand aligned with their legacy. But this is not just grandeur. Modern science confirms that boundaries like these decisive cuts build armor around the mind. Psychological resilience is not a trait you're born with. It's forged through deliberate resistance. When you erect boundaries, you build strength. You block infiltration by chaos. You direct energy toward growth. You cultivate a life rich in meaning, not distraction. Complex, transformative, resilient, deep thinkers know that discomfort breeds depth. You embrace that fire. Let the cost of failure fuel you. A throne riddled with disorder collapses under its own indecision. Without discipline, every whisper of doubt becomes a seed of surrender. But the rewards of this transformation are vast. You become untouchable, feared, respected, self-mastered. You stand at the summit. Your court is cleansed. Your battlefield is still. Your strategy has reached its final turn. Let the echo of your resolve ring through empty halls. The kingdom of your mind is restored. Ascend as sovereign, rule unbroken. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. The resolution is not gentle. It is sharp, final, and without apology. Cutting people out is not cruelty. It is empire building. A sovereign who hesitates to purge weakness will not be remembered for mercy. He will be remembered for his collapse. If you do not cut, you will be cut down. Imagine a battlefield commander who refuses to remove a faltering soldier from the front line. That single weakness infects the entire formation. The enemy strikes through the gap, and the army falls not because of overwhelming force, but because of hesitation. Your life is no different. When you allow parasites to linger, friends who mock your vision, lovers who poison your will, colleagues who undermine your name, you open the gates of your fortress. The cost of weakness is not an inconvenience. It is annihilation. History leaves no illusions. Every throne has been earned by decisive hands. Kings, emperors, and commanders did not stumble into sovereignty by hoping their enemies would disappear. They carved their place by eliminating traitors before those traitors could strike. Caesar rose because he cut decisively, too decisively for some, not enough for others, but always with clarity of purpose. Alexander's empire did not expand on trust alone, but on the ruthless removal of those who doubted his march. Even Churchill, in the modern age, built his leadership on exclusion, cutting indecisive voices from his war cabinet, so that only iron remained when the storm of tyranny pressed in. The throne never welcomes the hesitant, it rewards those who purge. And now, it turns to you. This is not a lesson trapped in history, it is a command for your life. Cut the poison, sharpen the blade, rise untouchable. When you set boundaries, you are not cruel, you are strategic. When you walk away from the false friend, you are not cold, you are sovereign. When you silence the voice of disrespect, you are not insecure, you are building an empire. Modern psychology calls it resilience. You will know it as sovereignty. The choice is laid before you. Either bleed for the weakness of others, or let them bleed away from your kingdom. Either remain prey, or ascend predator. Either sit among parasites, or rise alone on the throne. The command is simple. Execute it without hesitation. Cut the poison, sharpen the blade. Rise untouchable.